What's up everyone, River here, and before we begin this video I'm gonna make a quick announcement. As you may have noticed, I didn't upload anything in the last, I think, 1.5 week. This is mostly due to technical difficulties with Showdown, which at the point of uploading this will have been fixed. So we'll be back with more UBC videos and other videos as soon as possible. This does mean that we are going to have no video footage of week 4 and 5. I'll still do the team builder for team 5 and at the end just explain what happened. Maybe I can get some post-com going for that one, but week 4 is not happening. Week 4 we ended up getting a hefty loss. If I remember correctly, it was a 0-4. So there's your spoiler, there's your result, I guess. Like I said, week 5 I'm gonna do at least team builder, possibly a post-game commentary, and after that I'm just gonna do post-game commentary for most of my games because that's logistically a lot simpler. Anyway, this is once again a VGC 2016 video, and this is with a team that I built partially inspired by Aaron Cybertron Zhang. Really good player. If you don't know him, then I don't know how you know me. Anyway, I'm just gonna give a quick rundown on it. So I'm planning to do more VGC content as well, and if I'm going to do actual matches and not just breakdowns of Pokemon, then I'm more than likely going to use this team. So that's why I'm doing a video now of explaining the team and the thought process behind it. So first off, as you can see, the most common Pokemon in the format still, Mega Kangaskhan. I have actually never used Kangaskhan before in VGC, which I know is both stupid and weird, but hey, it's coming to it right now, and basically it is the most generic of sets you can expect. It's Jolly Nature, Max Speed, Max Attack, Fake Out, Double Edge, Low Kick, Sucker Punch, just normal moves, Sucker Punch for priority, Fake Out for the pressure, Double Edge for max damage output, and Low Kick for coverage. We actually are running Inner Focus, not Scrappy. Do I say that correctly? Yeah, it's Scrappy. This is mostly because even though Scrappy is still quite good in this meta, with Gengar still being popular, with Giratina showing up now, I actually preferred him Focus because also a lot of faster Fake Out users are in the game now. Weavile is getting more popularity, Liepard is huge, there are a couple of more that just don't come from the top of my head right now, but Inner Focus allows Kang to just take the Fake Out, not Mega Evolve on that turn, and then Fake Out the other one, so I can still get a move off with my one that's paired up with Kangaskhan. So that's the thought process behind it. Max Speed, because with this you will outspeed most of the current meta, because most metamons are base 90 speed with neutral nature, so I felt that this was actually the best setup I could go for right now. And with that, I don't think there's much to discuss. It's Kangaskhan, he's gonna do his jump, he's gonna put out a lot of pressure, he's gonna put out a lot of damage. That's all it has to do. So next up is Groudon. So as you can see, the core is really similar to the team I mentioned earlier with Kangaskhan, Groudon-Palkia, but here is where you can see that things will start to differ with a timid Groudon running max speed. The idea behind this is that timid Groudon is obviously faster than modest Groudon and modest Kyogre, but he does, with that extra speed, actually gain an advantage when in a non-trick room scenario. And I don't like to rely on speed type, so I didn't go with modest nature. And with timid nature, like I said, it just, you don't lose out on too much power, a little bit, and you do lose out on quite a bit of bulk, but the amount of speed you get from it actually allows for a lot of surprise kills, for a lot of kills you otherwise wouldn't get. As you can see, it's Special Groudon, Max Special Attack, Eruption, and Earth Power are the quite obvious moves, and then I actually opt to go for Overheat. You can do a lot of things on it. People like to run the Rogue Rock Slide or the Precipice Blade just for the coverage, I guess. I'm not sure how you would refer to it with Precipice Blades because you already have Earth Power. You could also run Solar Beam, which I think is not worth it, or Thunderbolt even, but I actually opt for Overheat because I like the single target fire type move, and for whenever you're, let's say, below 70%, Overheat's gonna out damage Eruption, even on when Eruption would be on a single target. So I like just the raw power and the stab moves, and because they cover each other really well already, I don't feel like there's need for a second coverage move, if I'm referring to Earth Power as a first coverage move. So with that, you know, Primal's always going to be good in the team for this format, so with that, I think I've got that one covered quite well. So next up is Palkia. Again, we're going to have a mon with timid nature. This is mostly because Palkia, with its 100 base speed instead of the 90 from the previous two, will in fact outspeed the Primals, including regular Rayquaza. It can speed tie with regular Salamence, even though again I don't like to rely on it, but against Salamence I'm actually willing to do that. And I don't think there's a whole lot that outspeeds Palkia in the meta that can actually threaten him. I know that Gengar outspeeds it, but you're not afraid of Gengar. But the beauty is you also outspeed Xerneas, and that's actually really big. If you can get that Earth Power off on Xerneas, you drop it down to half if it's pre-Geomancy, and then you can get some really good uses out of this, like really good mileage. With that though, the moves that I'm running are Protect, Special Rend, Earth Power, and Ice Beam. Ice Beam, like for example the Salamence or the Landorus, which is still popular, it just brings really good coverage for Palkia. Earth Power is to deal with the likes of the Groudon, with... It actually does work against Kyogre as well, even though Spatial Rend does deal more damage, but whenever I feel I need safety of the 100% accuracy, I sometimes do like to opt for the Earth Power. And Spatial Rend just having that Stab Dragon type move, it OHKOs Mega Rayquaza, it OHKOs Salamence I believe, it OHKOs... it doesn't OHKO Giratina, it may OHKO Giratina Origin depending on its sets, or its spread. And that's also why we have the Life Orb. I could also go for Haba Berry, or even the... what's the Anti-Fairy Berry again? Is it? I don't care. Anyways, we're going for Life Orb because I like the extra power, and I don't want to be locked by choice specs. And we got plenty of speed, so I don't need a Scarf, and I feel like Life Orb is just the right way to go, in my opinion. Then, we get Cresselia. Yes, it is Trick Room, even though my team is speed-based. Hold up, actually, my IV is actually perfect on speed of Cresselia. Basically, Trick Room is there either to counteract other Trick Room users, or in case of a team that is in fact faster than mine. So, like I said, the Gengar could be comboed with... Actually, let's take a look quickly. What would be a mon that would be I would prefer? A Mega Mewtwo could be the case. Evoltal is not there, so it would have to be like a non-Uber that we're fearing. Let's say Greninja. Greninja would be a good example. Let's say they lead with Greninja and Kang. And I'm leading with Cresselia and Kang because of reasons. If I can just fake out the the Greninja on turn 1, and then get the Trick Room off, because I did not Mega Evolve, I will be faster than his Kang on the Trick Room, and I will have Cresselia, which would actually help me a lot, and would allow me to OHKO one of the two with Helping Hand Low Kick. So that's just one of many possible scenarios that Cresselia with Trick Room could work, but anyway, besides that, Thunder Wave, Helping Hand, and Ice Beam. Ice Beam is just there for offensive coverage, just having an offensive move when you get taunted or when you need a little bit of damage output from the Cresselia. I could go for a Psychic, but I feel like Ice Beam just hits so much more, and same base damage, just no stab, and if you can hit something super effective, then it's definitely going to be worth it. The one thing that I do lack is Skill Swap, and basically I consider Speed Control far more important than Weather Control with my Cresselia. I tend to only bring in my Groudon late game by the point that either I'm forced to bring it in, or when my opponent cannot switch out anymore. Just either that or leading with it, which either gives me the possibility to win by default or lose by default when talking about the Weather War. So I don't tend to need the Skill Swap, even though giving Left A to Groudon is still really good. I prioritize these 4 moves. Then again, I stated at some point to someone else that if I could, I would run 2 Cresselias, both with completely different movesets. So, with this spread, the Calm Nature, this allows me to basically live everything. The only thing that Cresselia does not live is the knockoff from a Evoltol, but that's something that you can just work around on. Sorry. Anyway, 5th one is going to be our Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn just there to check Xerneas and check Kyogre. I mean, Groudon actually does well against Xerneas and Palkia does great against Kyogre, but having that Ferrothorn actually helps a lot. So I think the main thing that is looking weird is the combination of the relaxed nature with the Spadef investments. The relaxed nature is here so that combined with Chople Berry, we can actually live 2 low kicks from Mega Cannon. Combining that with the Iron Barbs and allowing me to curse up. If I get the curse up, we can live a 3rd. We can actually live the 3rd if we use 2 curses. That's it. The Spadef investment is here to allow me to live hits from, I think it changes Kyogre's Ice Beam from a 3-hit to a 4-hit KO on Ferrothorn, and combined with the attack to allow me to Oko Xerneas with Gyro Ball even before Geomancy, and allowing Power Whip at +1 to Oko a bulky Kyogre. Yeah. So my main thought process behind Curse is I want to be able to do something if my opponent is going to prevent me from doing something. I know it sounds odd, but I'm talking more about a scenario where they're going Double Protect or Mad Block or Ninja for some freaking reason, and I want to be able to respond without being able to actually attack them. So Leech Seed was normally going to be the pick, but I actually opted with Curse, because Curse allows me to, like I said, it allows me to one-shot the Kyogre afterwards. It allows me to live low kicks, or live more at least from Kang or other physical attackers. And I feel really confident. I've already playtested it, it works really well. I think it's actually better than Leech Seed in the current meta, because Mons are either going to be dying left or right, or they're going to be switching out and in left and right, so I don't think Leech Seed's good right now. I do feel that some regeneration with Ferrothorn is good, so I'm still playing around with either Chople Berry or Citrus Berry, but that is still open for experimentation in my opinion. I think both are really good, and Chople Berry is a little more situational, but I do think it's actually worth to go that route. I may change some up in my spread, in my EV spread, just to maybe make the Citrus Berry better, but it all depends on what I get to play against and how I get tested out. Anyway, last Pokemon, the most, I will say, controversial one is Aerodactyl. I am a big time fan of Aerodactyl. When I first started playing VGC, I wanted a Mega Aerodactyl team, and now I'm bringing it back. Even though it's not Mega, it is here for good reason. First off, Rock Slide. Rock Slide is there. Like, when I started thinking about the 6th slot, originally I had Suicune on this, but I felt that even though Suicune did his job well, it literally came in to set up Tailwind and keep snarling until it dies. That's literally all that Suicune did. So I wanted something with more all-around utility and usability. So what I came to with this team at first, with Suicune back then, was that I have a really big issue with bulky flying types. Think Lugia, think Ho-Oh, Evoltol as well, and to a lesser extent, but still annoying, was Talonflame. So I figured I could go Electric, or I could go Rock. And I actually felt more confident with Rock, because even though Electric is good, I just didn't feel like there were good Tailwind setters that are Electric type. I think I'm not sure if Raikou gets it, but anyway, that doesn't really matter right now, because right now we're running the Aerodactyl. Running it with Focus Sash, because even though it is surprisingly bulky with its typing, just to take an example, there is not a single Groudon set that can Oko Aerodactyl, unless it's max special attack with Eruption at max health, and even then it's a roll. Also, Mega Rayquaza cannot OHKO it unless it's a weird special set with Thunderbolt or has Dragon Claw in a physical set, because Dragon Ascent is not OHKO. But Focus Sash is there so it can handle Steel types, such as Scissor, Ferrothorn, so it can handle Electric type moves like Thunderbolt from Thundurus or Kyogre, or the big one, freaking Kyogre. Kyogre doesn't care about Aerodactyl one damn bit. It can go Thunderbolt, it can go Ice Beam, it can go Origin Pulse, it can go Water Spout at half HP. It will kill Aerodactyl. That should be clear, so the Focus Sash is still necessary. Anyway, like I said, Rock Slide is here to deal with the flying types, especially, and, you know, Flint City is always there. But then we get Tailwind. As I mentioned earlier, this is a speed-based team, and I do want to keep the speed in my favor, so Tailwind is there, also to just provide that additional support. And last but not least is the Wide Guard. I don't think people have been theory crafting this enough yet, but I feel that Wide Guard is currently the most underrated move in VGC 2016, because the Primals hate Wide Guard. Because, let me get this clear, the 4 key moves of the 2 Primals are all spread. Precipice Blades, Eruption, Water Spout, Origin Pulse. They are all spread. They all get blocked by Wide Guards. So that is just freaking amazing. I mean, it can block more, obviously. It can block the Dazzling Gleam from Xerneas. It can block the Earthquake from a Landorus, the Rock Slide from a Landorus. It has a lot more versatility in this format than would be anticipated, in my opinion. And that's why I also think Egg Slash, even though it has that massive Groudon weakness, I think in Kyogre teams it could come back again. So yeah, basically that plus the Unnerve ability. Unnerve, it's by far support of Aerodactyl's best ability, and I have actually seen it work, preventing my opponent from using Citrus Berries, calling them to die to, or get KO'd by a hit from either Groudon-Palkia. But again, obviously the core of the team will always be Kangaskhan, Groudon, Palkia, and then one of the other 3 to just help depending on the scenario. So even though I'm really happy with the Aerodactyl on the team, because I really feel it fills that niche that was necessary on my team. I mean, people would say, oh, why aren't you running just Scarf Landorus? Because I don't like that lock. Because, yeah, sure, Scarf Landorus is really good, but the main thing that allows Aerodactyl to be better, or 2 main things actually, is 1, its Rock Slide is actually stronger, pardon me, because of the stab bonus Aerodactyl gets on Rock Slide, and 2, the extreme versatility compared to Landorus. I had some test runs planned though, it did really well. I love the U-turning into Groudon so I can control the Weather Wall even more, but the straight up utility from getting the Tailwind, getting the Wide Guards, Aerodactyl has single-handedly won me games in scenarios where I don't see many other mons pull that off. So I'm really confident in the Aerodactyl. Maybe I'll start some theory craft on some other projects. I have something in the works, but I'm not going to use it just yet. This is most likely the team you're going to see me use if you see me on Ladder or Battle Spot or anything, basically. So with that, I'm going to end the video. Expect the team builder of week 5 of the UBC to be up relatively short soon, I should say. And with that, I am signing out.